One of the biggest reasons companies move to the cloud has nothing to do with technology. It's cost. But AWS pricing is also one of the areas that causes the most confusion, especially at the beginning. Terms like on-demand, reserved, or pay-as-you-go sound simple, but people often aren't sure what they really mean in practice. So in this episode, we're going to slow things down and make AWS pricing feel predictable instead of intimidating. Welcome to Learn Data Easy, the series where we break down cloud, data, and AI concepts without jargon and without stress. I'm Charlene. I work in data and AI, and my goal here is to help you understand how AWS works underneath in a way that's clear, practical, and actually useful. In this episode, we're talking about pricing and billing, how AWS charges you, and how to think about costs in the cloud. Before we talk about any service names, here's the most important idea. So AWS pricing is based on usage, so you pay for what you use when you use it, and you stop paying when you stop using it. Once you understand that principle, the rest becomes much easier to remember. In traditional IT, companies had to buy hardware upfront. They paid for servers whether they were being used or not. This is known as capital expenditure or CapEx. AWS replaces this with operational expenditure or OpEx. So instead of buying hardware, you pay ongoing costs based on usage. A simple way to remember this is on-premises equals upfront costs, whereas with Amazon, you only pay for what you use. This shift is one of the biggest reasons companies adopt the cloud. The most basic pricing option in AWS is on-demand. With on-demand, you pay for compute or services by the second or hour with no long-term commitments. You can start resources, stop resources, and only pay for the time that they were actually running. For the exam, remember this. On-demand equals flexibility, no commitment. AWS also offers ways to save money if you know you'll use resources long-term. Reserved instances and savings plan allow you to commit to usage for 1 or 3 years in exchange for lower prices. You don't need to know the pricing details. Just remember the trade-off. Commitment equals lower cost. This is commonly tested conceptually. Another pricing option you may see mentioned is spot instances. Now, spot instances allow you to use unused AWS capacity at a lower price, but AWS can reclaim them if capacity is needed elsewhere. For the exam, remember this. So spot instances are cheaper but not guaranteed. AWS pricing isn't just about compute. You also pay for storage like Amazon S3 or EBS, and data transfers, especially when data is leaving AWS. A common exam point is that incoming data is usually free, while outgoing data often costs money. AWS provides tools to help you understand and control costs. AWS Cost Explorer helps you analyze and visualize spending. AWS Budgets let you set alerts when costs exceed thresholds. And AWS Pricing Calculator helps estimate costs before deploying resources. For the exam, remember that these tools help with visibility and control. Data and AI workloads can scale quickly, which makes cost awareness especially important. Storage growth, compute usage, and data movement all affect billing. Understanding AWS pricing helps you design systems that are scalable and cost-efficient. Let's quickly recap. AWS uses a pay-as-you-go pricing model. On-demand pricing offers flexibility. Reserved options reduce cost with commitments. And spot instances are cheaper but interruptible. AWS provides tools like Cost Explorer and Budgets to manage spending. If you understand this at a high level, you're well prepared for pricing questions. In the next episode, we'll look at AWS support, documentation, and learning resources. How AWS helps customers get help and keep systems running smoothly. If this has helped, subscribe. And let's keep learning cloud the easy way. See you next time.